own advantage. Conflict of interest, in which a person or institution is involved in multiple interests, financial or otherwise, and serving one interest could involve working against another. Misappropriation, the intentional, illegal use of the property or funds of another entity for one's own use or unauthorized purpose, often seen in public office. Fraud, wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain, particularly through falsification or misrepresentation. Lack of transparency, the failure of a government or institution to openly share information, which hinders accountability and allows unethical behavior to go unnoticed. Authoritarianism, a form of governance characterized by strong central power and limited political freedoms. It often suppresses dissent and lacks democratic accountability. Repression, the act of subduing someone or something by force. In governance, it refers to the restriction of civil liberties or political opposition through coercion. Censorship, the suppression or prohibition of speech, public communication, or other information that may be considered objectionable by a governing body. Propaganda, information, often biased or misleading, used to promote a political cause or point of view. It is a common tool in authoritarian regimes to control public opinion. Election rigging, manipulating the outcome of an election through fraudulent means such as vote tampering, voter intimidation, or false counts. State-sponsored violence, the use of force or violence by a government against its own people, including police brutality, military crackdowns, or unjust imprisonment. Suppression of press freedom, controlling or silencing journalists, media outlets, and access to information to prevent the public from knowing the truth about governance. Institutional decay, the gradual loss of effectiveness and legitimacy in public institutions, often due to corruption, neglect, or failure to reform. Global governance and international relations. Global governance, the collective management of international affairs through institutions, agreements, and cooperation between countries. It includes organizations like the United Nations, WTO, and treaties that regulate global peace, trade, and climate. Diplomacy, the practice of managing international relations through negotiation, dialogue, and compromise rather than conflict. It is key in maintaining peaceful and productive interactions between nations. International law, a body of rules and norms that govern relationships between sovereign states and other global actors. It covers issues such as war, diplomacy, human rights, and environmental regulation. Treaty, a formal agreement between two or more countries or international entities that is legally binding under international law. Treaties can address trade, defense, environment, or human rights. Bilateral relations, the political, economic, or cultural relationship between two sovereign states. Bilateral agreements are negotiated directly between the two parties. Multilateralism, a system of coordinating foreign policy between three or more countries. Multilateral agreements and organizations aim to solve issues that affect multiple nations, like climate change or trade. Sovereignty.
Are you ready to learn
The authority of a
Japanese?
state to govern
Are
itself
you ready to learn
without
Japanese
outside
while sleeping?
interference. Sovereignty is central to
Are you ready to
international
learn
law
Japanese
and
while
relations, emphasizing
with
independence and territorial integrity.
JapanesePod101.com.
Geopolitics, the study of how geography influences political power, strategies, and international relations. It includes issues like border conflicts, natural resources, and strategic alliances. Foreign aid. Assistance given by one country to another, often in the form of financial support, goods or services, to promote development, respond to crises, or influence governance. Peacekeeping. The deployment of international forces, usually under the United Nations, to help maintain or restore peace in conflict zones through monitoring, negotiation, and protection. Sanctions. Penalties imposed by one or more countries against another, often to influence behavior or policies. They may include trade restrictions, asset freezes, or travel bans. Development assistance. Financial or technical support provided to developing countries by international donors, aimed at improving infrastructure, education, health, or governance. Global South. A term used to describe developing nations, particularly in Africa, Latin America, and Asia, in discussions of global inequality, governance, and aid. Elections, representation, and civic participatio. Democratic elections. A process in which citizens choose their leaders or representatives through free, fair, and regular voting, ensuring political accountability and legitimacy. Universal suffrage. The right of all adult citizens to vote in an election, regardless of gender, race, status, or education. It's a cornerstone of democratic governance. Voter turnout. The percentage of eligible voters who actually cast their ballots in an election. High turnout is often seen as a sign of civic engagement. Electoral system. The method used to count votes and allocate seats in a legislature or choose a leader. Examples include proportional representation and first past the post. Representation. The act of elected officials serving as the voice of their constituents in government, shaping policy based on the public's interests and concerns. Political participation. Any activity by citizens that involves them in the political process, including voting, protesting, joining political parties, or civic campaigning. Ballot. A physical or electronic means by which voters indicate their choices during an election. Secret ballots protect voter privacy and prevent coercion. Campaign. Organized efforts by candidates or parties to win votes, including speeches, debates, advertising, and public engagement. Constituency. A geographic area represented by an elected official. Constituents are the people living in that area who vote in the election. Polling station. A location where voters go to cast their votes during an election. It is managed by an electoral commission or similar authority. Civic duty. The responsibilities of a citizen, including voting, obeying laws, and engaging in public discourse to support the community and democracy.
Formal self-introduction.
Recall election. A special vote to remove an elected official from office before the end of their term, typically initiated by a public petition. Electoral integrity. The credibility and fairness of an electoral process. It requires transparency, security, independence of electoral bodies, and public trust.
自己绍介.
Gerrymandering. Manipulating the boundaries of electoral districts to favor one party or group, often undermining fair representation and democracy. Electoral reform. Changes proposed to improve fairness or electoral process, such as new voting technologies or systems. Leadership, authority, and power structures. Leadership, the act of guiding, influencing, and directing individuals or groups to a cabinet, a group of high-ranking officials, typically ministers, who advise the head of government and make collective decisions on executive matters. Executive power, the authority to enforce laws and administer public policy. In most systems, this power lies with the
自工商会
president, prime minister, or governor.
自工商会
Legislative power, the authority to make or change laws. This power is typically held by a
自工商会
parliament or Congress elected by the people. Judicial power, the authority held by courts to interpret laws, settle disputes, and uphold justice. An independent judiciary is essential for rule of law. Devolution, the transfer of powers from a central government to regional or local governments. It allows for more localized and responsive governance.
自己紹介
Decentralization, the redistribution of decision-making
自工商会
authority from central to
自
lower
工商
levels
会
of government, often to improve
自己紹介
efficiency and community engagement.
自己紹介
Checks and balances, a system that ensures no single branch of
即工商
government
会
becomes too powerful by allowing
自
each
工商会
branch to limit the powers of the others.
自工商会
自己紹介
Accountability, the
自工
obligation
商
of
会
leaders and institutions to explain their actions and accept
自己
responsibility,
紹介
especially when they misuse power or resources. Technocracy, a system of governance where decision makers are selected based on their technical
自工商会
expertise and knowledge rather than political affiliation.
自工商会
Oligarchy, a form
自己
of power structure where a
自工
small
商
group
会
of people, often from the same social, economic, or political class hold
自己紹
control.
介自己紹介
Governance reforms, policy tools, and
自己紹介
evaluation. Policy reform,
自己紹介
the process of changing existing laws, regulations, or practices to improve governance, address inefficiencies, or meet new challenges. Reforms can target economic, social, or political issues. Regulation, rules or directives created by governing bodies to control or supervise specific activities within a society, industry, or field. Regulations ensure order, safety, and fairness. Public policy, a system of laws, actions, and decisions that reflect the values and goals of a government. Public policies often address issues such as health, education, and economic growth. Policy implementation, the phase in which government policies are put into action by the appropriate authorities, agencies, or departments. It involves resource allocation, logistics, and oversight. Policy evaluation, the assessment of a policy's effectiveness, efficiency, and impact. Evaluation helps determine whether the policy achieves its intended goals and whether any modifications are necessary. Cost-benefit analysis, a method of comparing the costs of a policy or program to the expected benefits in order to determine its value or feasibility. It helps guide decision-making and governance. Risk management, the identification, assessment, and prioritization of risks, followed by the application of resources to minimize or control the probability of negative outcomes in governance. Public-private partnerships, collaborations between government agencies and private sector companies to finance, build, and operate projects such as infrastructure, healthcare, or education.
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada from a BC
engagement,
corporation.
The process of
I sincerely
involving
look forward to
individuals,
working with you.
groups, or organizations that are
Nice
affected
to meet
by
you.
or have an
I
interest
am
in a
Yamada from
policy or
ABC
project.
Corporation.
It helps ensure
I sincerely
policies are
look forward
inclusive
to
and
working with you.
well-informed. Sustainability.
はじめまし
The
て、
ability to manage
ABC 株式
resources
会
and
社の山田
implement
と申しま
policies
す。
in a way that does
今後
not
とも
deplete
何
or
卒
harm
よろ
the
しくお願い
environment,
申し上げます。
ensuring the well-being of future generations. Participatory governance. A governance model that actively involves citizens in the decision-making process, encouraging transparency, accountability, and shared responsibility. Governance innovation. The introduction of new approaches, technologies, or policies to address governance challenges in more effective or efficient ways. It can include digital government or novel public-private collaboration models. Institutional reform. Changes made to the structure or functioning of government institutions to improve efficiency,
はじめまして、
transparency,
ABC 株
and
式
public
会社の
service
山田と
delivery.
申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Openness in government actions, decisions, and processes. Transparency ensures that the public has access to information and can hold officials accountable. Anti-corruption measures. Policies and strategies designed to prevent corruption, such as the creation of watchdog agencies, anti-bribery laws, and transparency initiatives.
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada from ABC
Sustainability,
Corporation.
global challenges,
I
and
sincerely
future
look forward
governance
to working
trends.
with you. はじめ
Sustainable
まして、
development.
ABC 株式会社の
Development
山
that
田
meets
と
the
申
needs
し
of
ま
the
す。
present
今後
without
とも
compromising
何
the
卒よろ
ability
し
of
くお願い
future
申し上げま
generations
す
to。meet their own needs. It involves balancing economic, social, and environmental goals. Climate change mitigation. Efforts to reduce or prevent the emission of greenhouse gases, aiming to limit the extent of global warming and its effects on ecosystems and societies. Resilience. The ability of systems like communities, governments, economies to recover and adapt to shocks, such as natural disasters, economic crises, or political instability. Green governance. Policies and practices that prioritize environmental sustainability, reducing ecological footprints, and promoting green technologies
はじ
and
めまし
renewable
て、
energy.
株式会社 ABC の山田と申します。
Globalization. The process of
今後ともよ
increased
ろしくお願い
interconnectedness and
申し上げます。
interdependence of nations, economies, and cultures through trade, communication, and travel. It poses both challenges and opportunities for governance. Human rights. Fundamental freedoms and protections that all individuals are entitled to, such as the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. International organizations like the UN play a key role in advocating for these rights. Global health governance. International efforts to address public health challenges that cross borders, such as pandemics, infectious diseases, and health inequalities. It involves
はじめ
cooperation
まして、
between
株
countries
式
and
会社
global
ABC の
organizations.
山田と申します。今後ともよろしくお願い申し上げ
International
ます。
security. The protection of nations from external threats,
はじめまし
including
て、
war,
株式会社
terrorism, and
ABC の山田
cyber
と申します。
It requires
今後ともよろし
collaboration
くお
among
願い申
countries
し上
to
げます。
maintain peace and stability. Digital governance. The use of digital technologies and tools in the administration and operation of government functions, such as e-government services, digital identity systems, and online public consultations. Inclusive governance. Ensuring that all segments of society, especially marginalized or vulnerable groups, have a voice in political decision-making processes, promoting fairness and equity. Circular
最初は
economy,
ABC
an
株式
economic
会
model
社の
that
山田さんを
prioritizes the
見て驚
reuse,
きました。
recycling, and responsible use of resources to minimize waste and environmental impact, supporting long-term sustainability. Crisis management. The process of preparing for, responding to, and recovering from emergencies or crises, such as natural disasters, economic shocks, or political upheaval, to minimize harm to society and the economy. Smart cities, urban areas that use digital technology and data to improve efficiency, sustainability, and quality of life. Smart cities aim to reduce environmental impact and enhance service delivery to
はじめまして、
citizens.
ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。
Global governance
今後とも
institutions,
何卒よろしくお願い
organizations
申
like
し
the
上げま
United
す。
Nations, World Bank, and International Monetary Fund, which play a
は
central
じめまして
role in addressing global
ABC 株
issues
式
such
会
as
社の山田
conflict
と申しま
resolution,
す。
trade,
今後
and
とも
development.
何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Climate justice. The concept those who have contributed least to climate change should not bear the brunt of its impacts. It seeks to ensure that vulnerable populations are protected and compensated for climate-related damages. Social equity. Fairness in the distribution of resources and opportunities, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of background, have equal access to services, education, and employment. Global economic governance. The management and regulation of the global economy through institutions like the International Monetary Fund and World Trade
What is this?
Organization, which address issues such as trade,
これ
debt,
は何
and
ですか?
economic stability.
これは何です
Future of work. The evolving nature of employment,
何
labor
卒
markets, and job roles
何
due to
卒
technological advancements, automation, and changing societal needs. Governments must adapt policies to support workers and promote fair labor practices. Policy coherence. Ensuring that government policies across different sectors, such as economy, health, environment, education, are aligned and mutually supportive, preventing contradictions and inefficiencies. Intergenerational equity. The principle that current generations have a responsibility to ensure that future generations have the resources and opportunities needed for a healthy,
はじめま
prosperous
して、
life.
〇〇株式会社の山田と申します。
Sustainable development
今後
goals.
とも
A set
何
of
卒よろし
17
くお
global
願い
objectives
申し上げま
adopted by
す。
the United Nations to address poverty, inequality, climate change, and environmental degradation, aiming for a sustainable and equitable future for all.
Mata from ABC Corporation. I
Biodiversity
sincerely look
conservation.
forward to working with
Efforts
you.
to protect and preserve the variety of life on Earth,
はじめまして、
including species,
ABC 株式会社
ecosystems,
の
and
山田と
genetic
申します。
diversity.
今後と
It
も
is crucial
何
for
卒よろし
maintaining
くお願い
healthy
申し上げま
ecosystems
す。
and ensuring sustainable development. Green New Deal. A proposal aimed at addressing climate change and economic inequality by investing in clean energy, green technologies, and structure, while jobs and stimulating the economy. Global governance reforms. Changes in international institutions and systems designed to address modern challenges, such as increased multipolarity, regional conflicts, and new technologies.
はじめまして、
These reforms
ABC
aim
株
to
式
make
会社の
global
山田と申
governance
しま
efficient
す。
and equitable.
今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Sustainable finance. Investment strategies and financial systems
は
that
じめま
support
して、
environmentally
ABC 株
sustainable projects and companies,
はじめまして、
including
ABC
green
株
bonds
式
and
会社の
socially
山田と申し
responsible
ます。
investments.
今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げ
Civic
ます。
technology. Technological tools and platforms that enable citizens to engage in governance, participate in decision making, and hold
は
governments
じめまして、
accountable,
ABC
fostering
株
greater
式会社の
transparency
山田と
and
申します。
responsiveness.
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada
Global
from ABC
solidarity.
Corporation.
The unity
I sincerely
and
look forward
cooperation
to
of
working with
nations
you.
in addressing global challenges such as climate change, poverty, and conflict. It is rooted in shared responsibility and mutual benefit. Environmental governance. The processes and practices that shape how societies manage their
Nice to
natural
meet you.
resources and
I am
environment,
Yamada from
balancing
ABC Corporation.
economic growth with
I sincerely
ecological
look forward to
protection.
working with you.
Inclusive
Nice
growth. Economic
Nice to meet you.
development that benefits
I am
all
Yamada
members
from
of
Abiki
society,
Corporation.
reducing
I sincerely
inequality
look forward to
and
working
ensuring
with
that
you.
marginalized groups have opportunities for social and
Nice to meet
economic
you.
advancement.
I am Yamada from ABC Corporation.
Future
I
governance.
sincerely look
The
forward to
evolving
working with
methods
you.
and practices of governing that incorporate technology, innovation, and increased citizen participation to address modern-day global challenges.
Nice to meet you.
Sustainable infrastructure.
Nice
The
to
design, construction,
Nice to meet you.
and operation
I am
of
Yamada from
infrastructure
ABC
that
Corporation.
minimizes
I
environmental
sincerely
impact, uses
Nice to
renewable
meet you.
resources,
I am
and
Yamada
ensures
from
long-term
ABC
sustainability
Corporation.
for communities.
I sincerely look
Environmental impact assessment, a process used to evaluate the potential
はじめまし
environmental
て、
consequences of
ABC
a
株
proposed
式会社
project
の
or
山田と
policy,
申します。
helping to
今後
mitigate
とも
negative
何
effects
卒
on
よ
the
ろしく。
environment before implementation. Renewable energy policy. Government policies aimed at encouraging the use of renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, and hydropower to reduce dependence on fossil fuels and combat climate change. Carbon footprint. The total amount of greenhouse gases
はじめま
emitted
して。
into the atmosphere as a result of human activities, often
は
measured
じめ
in
まし
terms
て、
of tons of
ABC 株
CO2
式会社
equivalent.
の山田と
It
申
is
し
a
ます。
key indicator in the assessment of sustainability. Eco-taxation. Taxes levied on activities that harm the environment, such as carbon emissions or the use of non-renewable resources.
今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Sustainable practices. Circular economy policy. Policies that
は
promote
じ
a
めまして、
circular economy,
ABC 株
where
式
waste
会
is
社の山田と
minimized,
申します。
resources are reused,
今後とも
and products
何
are
卒よろ
designed
し
for
くお願い申
longevity,
し上げます。
recycling, or repurposing. Green bond. A type of bond issued to finance projects that have positive environmental or climate benefits, such as renewable energy installations or pollution control initiatives. Climate change adaptation. Strategies and actions taken to adjust systems and practices in response to the impacts of climate change, such as rising sea level or more frequent natural disasters. Urban sustainability. The concept of creating cities that are environmentally friendly, socially inclusive, and economically viable, with a focus on reducing waste, conserving resources, and promoting green spaces. Human security.
私は海外事業部でマネージャーを務めております。佐
that
藤と申
focuses
し
on
ます。
protecting individuals from threats such as poverty, disease, human rights violations, and environmental disasters. Global health policy. Policies that aim to improve global health outcomes by addressing public health issues that cross borders, such as pandemics, nutrition, and access to healthcare services. Disaster risk reduction. The actions taken to reduce the likelihood of disasters occurring and to minimize their impact, particularly in vulnerable areas. This includes preparedness, mitigation, and response strategies. International climate agreements. Treaties or accords between countries aimed at addressing global climate change. The Paris Agreement
Nice
is
to
one of
meet
the
you.
most notable
I am
examples,
Yamada from
with
ABC
countries committing
Corporation.
to reduce
I
greenhouse
sincerely
gas
look forward to
emissions.
working with you.
Multilateralism. A foreign policy approach that emphasizes cooperation among
はじめまして
multiple countries,
ABC 株
global
式
challenge, as
はじめまして、
opposed to
ABC
unilateral
株
or
式会
bilateral
社の
influence
山
of
田と申しま
international
す。
organisms like the
今
United
後とも
Nations.
何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Sustainable fisheries. Policies and
は
practices
じめま
designed
し
to
て、
manage fish stocks
ABC
and
株式
marine
会社の山田と申
ecosystems
し
in a
ます。
way that ensures
今後と
fish
も
populations
何
are
卒よろしくお
maintained
願い
and the
申し上
health
げ
of
ま
the
す。
oceans is preserved. Environmental justice. The fair treatment of all people, regardless of national origin or income, with respect to the development, implementation, and enforcement of environmental laws, regulations, and policies. Social sustainability. Policies and practices that promote social inclusion, equity, and the well-being of all individuals, ensuring that economic
meet you.
development benefits
I am
everyone,
Yamada from ABC
particularly
Corporation.
marginalized groups.
I sincerely look forward to working with you.
Carbon pricing. A method of reducing global warming
ABC
by
株
putting
式
a
会社
price
の
on
山田
carbon
と申しま
emissions,
す。今
either
後と
through a
も
carbon
何卒
tax
よろ
or
し
a
くお
cap
願
and
い
trade
申し上げ
system.
ます。
This incentivizes businesses to
は
reduce
じ
their
めまし
carbon
て、
footprint.
ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。
Gender
今後とも
responsive
何卒よ
governance.
ろしくお願い申
Governance
し上げ
that
ます。
takes into account the needs and priorities of all genders, ensuring equality and non-discrimination in policy decisions and public services. Urban resilience. The ability of cities to withstand and recover shocks, such as natural economic downturns, by building adaptive capacity and sustainable infrastructure. Global digital governance. The set of policies and frameworks that govern the use of digital technologies across borders, including issues such as internet governance, privacy, and cybersecurity. Climate financing. Funding provided by governments, international organizations, or private institutions to support climate change mitigation and adaptation projects, especially in developing countries. Food security policy.
Nice to meet you.
Government policies
Yamada
designed to
from
ensure
ABC
that all people
Corporation.
have access to
I sincerely
sufficient,
look
safe,
forward to
and
working with
nutritious
you.
food at all times, addressing issues
は
like
じめ
food
まして、
scarcity,
ABC 株
malnutrition,
式会社
and
の山田と
inequality.
申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願
Youth
い申し上げます。
participation in governance. Policies that encourage
はじ
the
めまし
active
て、
involvement of young
ABC
people
株式
in
会社の
political
山田と申し
processes,
ます。
decision
今後とも
making, and
何卒よ
leadership
ろしくお
roles
願い
to
申し上げ
ensure
ます。
their voices are heard in shaping the future. Data governance. The management of data availability, usability, integrity, and security within an organization or country, ensuring that data is used responsibly and ethically in decision-making. Greenwashing. The practice of companies or governments exaggerating or falsifying their environmental efforts to appear more eco-friendly than they are. It undermines genuine sustainability efforts. Humanitarian aid. Assistance provided to people affected by crises, such as natural disasters, conflict, or extreme poverty. It aims to alleviate suffering and provide basic needs, such as food, shelter, and medical care. The government. The information and communication technologies by government agencies to provide service to citizens, improve transparency, and increase efficiency. Global economic inequality. The growing disparity in income, wealth, and access to resources between and within countries. This gap poses a major challenge to global
I am
governance and
Satu,
sustainable
currently
development.
serving as a manager in the International Business Department.
Sustainable tourism, a form of tourism that minimizes the negative impacts on the environment and local communities, promotes conservation, and supports
I am
local
Satu,
economies
currently
in a
serving as a
responsible
manager
way.
in the International Business Department.
Conflict resolution. The methods and processes used to resolve disputes, disagreements, and conflicts, both within countries and between nations.
I am
often
Sato,
through
currently
negotiation,
serving as a manager in the
diplomacy,
International Business
international
Department.
mediation. Ecosystem service fits humans' water, food, and climate regulation. Protecting these services is vital
私
for
は海外事
sustainable
業部でマ
governance.
ネージャーを務めております。佐藤と申します。
Crisis diplomacy. The use of diplomatic
私は
channels
海
and
外事業部で
negotiations
マネー
to
ジャーを
resolve
務めております。佐
international
藤と
issues,
申します。
such as conflicts, environmental disasters, or economic emergencies, often through mediation or peace talks. Social entrepreneurship. Business ventures that aim to address social, environmental, or community challenges while generating profits. Social entrepreneurship integrates economic growth with social impact. Corporate social responsibility. The practice of companies taking responsibility for their impact on society and the environment, beyond profit-making, by engaging in ethical business practices and contributing to social good. Carbon neutrality. The process of balancing carbon emissions by offsetting them through measures such as carbon credits or by reducing emissions through energy efficiency and renewable energy. International aid. Financial or material assistance provided by one country to another, often aimed at helping with economic development, humanitarian relief, or environmental protection. Affordable housing. Government policies that ensure housing is affordable for all income levels, especially low-income families, often through subsidies, rent control, or public housing initiatives. Digital divide. The gap between individuals and communities with access to digital technologies and those without, which can exacerbate social and economic inequalities in governance. International collaboration. Cooperative efforts between countries to tackle global challenges, such as climate change, public health crises, and conflict resolution. Multilateral organizations play a central role in fostering such collaboration. Net zero emissions. The state in which a country or organization balances the amount of greenhouse gases emitted with an equivalent amount of emissions removed from the atmosphere, contributing to the fight against climate change. Global commons. Resources and spaces that are shared by all nations, such as the atmosphere, oceans, and outer space, which require cooperative management to prevent exploitation or depletion. Inclusive development. Economic and social development that is ensuring that all people have equal access to opportunities, resources, and benefits, particularly marginalized communities. Inclusive development. Economic and social development that is equitable, ensuring that all people have equal access to opportunities, resources, and benefits, particularly
Nice to meet you.
marginalized communities.
I am Yamada from ABC Corporation. I sincerely look forward to
Corporate
working with you.
Corporate governance. The system by which companies are
はじめまし
directed
て
and controlled,
ABC 株式会社の
focusing on
山
the
田と
roles
申しま
and
す。今後と
responsibilities
も
of
何
management,
卒よろしくお願い
board
申し
members,
上げ
and
ま
making
す。
this at the organization and stakeholders.
はじめまして ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。
The
今後と
process
も
of reducing
何卒よ
carbon
ろしくお
emissions
願い
from
申し
all
上げま
sectors
す。
of the economy, especially through the
I am
adoption of
Sato,
renewable
currently
energy and
serving as a manager in
energy-efficient
the International
technologies.
Business Department.
International
私は
law,
海外事業
a
部でマ
body
ネ
of
ージャーを
legal
務めてお
rules
り
and
ます。
principles
佐藤
that govern the relations between states and other international actors, addressing issues such as trade, human rights, and environmental protection. Green growth. Economic growth that is environmentally sustainable, driven by investments in green technologies, energy efficiency, and low-carbon industries. Social dialogue. The process by which governments, employers, and workers engage in discussions to improve labor conditions, social policies, and economic development. Inclusive policy making. The involvement of diverse groups, including marginalized communities, in the process of policy development, ensuring that policies are representative and beneficial to all. Global public goods. Goods and services that benefit all people across the world, such as clean air, global health initiatives, and peacekeeping, which require collective action and shared responsibility. Sustainable agriculture. Farming practices that promote the health of ecosystems, reduce environmental degradation, and provide fair economic opportunities for farmers while ensuring food security for future generations. Universal access to education. The commitment to providing quality education to all individuals, regardless of their background, location, or socioeconomic status, as a means of promoting
私
equality
は
and
海外事業
opportunity.
部でマネージャーを務めております。佐
Global
藤と申し
development
ます。
goals. The broad set of international objectives aimed at improving the
Manager in
quality
the
of life for
International
all
Business
people,
Department.
including ending poverty, reducing
私は
inequality,
海外
and
事業部で
ensuring
マネージャー
environmental
を務めております。
sustainability.
佐藤と申します。
Civil society.
どうぞよろしくお
The
願い申
collective
し上げ
term
ます。
for non-governmental organizations, social movements, advocacy groups, and individuals who work to influence government policies, promote human rights, and advance social causes.
Please reply
Decentralized
promptly
governance,
regarding the
system
content of
where
this email.
decision-making authority is across multiple levels of
この
government,
メールの内容に
allowing
つ
for
い
more
てすぐ
localized
に
and
返信して
flexible
ください。
responses to issues.
このメールの内容につい
Peace
て
building.
すぐに返信してく
Efforts
だ
to
さい。
create sustainable peace in post-conflict societies by addressing root causes of conflict,
Please prepare to
promoting
project the meeting
reconciliation,
materials
and
onto the
supporting
projector.
economic and social recovery.
会議の資料をプロジェクターに移す準備をお願いします。
Collaborative efforts between governments, businesses, and civil society to tackle global issues such as
私は
poverty,
海外事業
climate
部でマネー
change,
ジャーを
and
務め
public
てお
health.
ります。佐藤と申します。
Ethical governance.
私
The
は海外事
application
業
of
部で
moral
マネージャーを
principles and
務めており
values
ます。
in decision-making
私
processes
は
within
海外事業
governments,
部でマネージャーを務めております。
ensuring that actions are transparent,
佐藤と申しま
just
す。
and equitable.
海外事業部
Institutions
で
and
マネージャーを
structures.
務めております。佐藤と申します。
Executive branch. The part of government responsible for implementing and enforcing laws, typically headed by the president or prime minister. Legislative branch. The lawmaking body of government, often
はじめ
composed
ま
of
して、
elected representatives
ABC
in a
株式
parliament
会
or
社の山田と
Congress.
申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Judicial, the system of courts that interprets and applies the law in the name of the state.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。
A
今後と
system
も
of
何
government
卒
in
よろ
which
しくお
most of
願い
the
申し上
important
げます。
decisions are made by state officials rather than by elected representatives. Civil service. The permanent professional branches of a government's administration, excluding military and judicial branches and elected politicians. Cabinet. A body of high-ranking state officials, typically consisting of the top leaders of the executive branch. Parliament. The supreme legislative body in a country, especially in systems following the Westminster model. Senate. A legislative chamber in the bicameral legislature of many countries, often considered the upper house. House of Representatives. The lower house in a bicameral legislature, representing the population proportionally. Ombudsman. Independent official appointed to investigate individuals' complaints against maladministration, especially that of public authorities. Regulatory agency. A public authority or government agency, responsible for exercising autonomous authority over some area of human activity in a regulatory or supervisory capacity. Municipality. A city or town that has corporate status and local government. Council. An assembly of people elected to manage the affairs of a city, county, or other municipal district.
Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me today.
Board of Directors. A group of individuals elected to represent shareholders and oversee the activities and direction of a company.
本日は貴重なお時間をいただ
An
き
acronym for
誠にありがとうござい
quasi-autonomous
ます。
non-governmental organization. A body that has some governmental responsibilities, but operates independently and controlled.
Come to la forme, je
Think
connais
tank.
qu'elle est forte.
A
Mais d'où
body
est-ce que tu
for
sors toi
providing
encore
customized specific
Ouvre-moi ta
political or
porte,
economic
j'ai les
problems.
choses à parler. Non, ne me néglige pas, mon bébé. Ton visage dans mes rêves, quand je ferme les yeux, c'est un autre monde. Quand c'est à ton quoi, t'as ton coup, je vais crier que je me comporte. I don't go, yeah, I don't go.
Typically runs social non-governmental organization presents the
をい
interests
ただ
and
き
will of
誠にあ
citizens.
りがとうございます。本日は貴重なお時間をいただき誠にありがとうございます。
Je n'ai pas besoin ni diamant ni l'or, tu es mon trésor. Oh non, mamie, à cause de ton charme, j'étais à mon charme. Oh non, you are entering in my eyes, you are so demure. Oh my God, oh, elle a vu, elle a confirmé. Quand il y a eu, so a confirmé. I don't go. Yeah, I don't go there. Yeah, la loi passe pour vous battre, non need. Chérie, on met. La loi passe pour vous battre, non need. Baby, on met. Alhamdulillah.
I have been working in the sales department for over 10 years since joining the company.
Alhamdulillah. Oui, oh maman, oh so watching, oh maman, yeah. Ton visage dans mes rêves, quand je ferme les yeux, c'est un autre monde.
入社してから10年以上営業部門に従事してまいりました。
Je vais crier que je me comporte. I don't go there, I don't go, yeah, I don't go there, yeah. La loi passe pour vous battre, non, chérie, on met.
I have been working in the sales department for over 10 years since joining the company.
入社してから10年以上営業部門に従事してまいりました。入社してから10年以上営業部門に従事してまいりました。入社してから10年以上営業部門に従事してまいりました。
Un autre monde. Quand c'est à ton quoi, t'as ton coup, je vais crier que je me comporte. I don't go there, I don't go there, yeah, I don't go there, yeah, I don't go there, I don't go there, yeah. La loi passe pour vous battre, non, need. Chérie, on met. La loi passe pour vous battre, non, need. Baby, on met. Je n'ai pas besoin ni diamant ni l'or, tu es mon trésor. Oh non, mamie, à cause de ton charme, j'étais à mon charme. Oh non, you are entering in my eyes, you are so demure. Oh my God, oh, elle a vu, elle a confirmé. Quand il y a eu, so a confirmé. I don't go there, I don't go there, yeah, I don't go there, yeah, I don't go there, yeah, I don't go there, yeah. La loi passe pour vous battre, non, need.
自工商会
Formal self-introduction.
正式な自己紹介。正式な自己紹介。正式な自己紹介。正式な自己紹介。
正式な自己紹介。
Formal self-introduction.
正式な自己紹介。Formal self-introduction.
Formal self-introduction.
Formal self-introduction.
Formal?
Formal self-introduction.
Formal self-introduction. Formal self-introduction.
Formal self-introduction. Formal self-introduction.
正式な自己紹介。
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada from ABC Corporation. I sincerely look forward to working with you.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
Good night.
おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい。
Excuse me.
英語を話せますか？英語を話せますか？
See you later.
I sincerely look forward to working with you.
はじ、
Really look forward to working with you.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。紹介。
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada from ABC Corporation. Sato, currently serving as a manager in the International Business Department.
私は海外事業部ではじめまして、ABC 株式会社の
Working with you.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。
Formal self-introduction.
正式な自己紹介。
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada from ABC Corporation. I sincerely look forward to working with you.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
I am Sato, currently serving as a manager in the International Business Department.
私は海外事業部でマネージャーを務めております。佐藤と申します。私は海外事業部でマネージャーを務めております。佐藤と申します。
I am Yamada from ABC Corporation. I sincerely look forward to working with you.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも、
また後で。また後で。また後で。
I understand.
わかりました。わかりました。わかりました。
Formal self-introduction.
正式な自己紹介。
Nice to meet you. I am Yamada from ABC Corporation. I sincerely look forward to working with you.
はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。はじめまして、ABC 株式会社の山田と申します。今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます。
I am Sato, currently serving as a manager in the International Business Department.
私は海外事業部でマネージャーを務めております。佐藤と申します。私は海外事業部でマネージャーを務めております。佐藤と申します。
Thank you very much for taking the time to meet with me today.
本日は貴重なお時間をいただき、誠にありがとうございます。本日は貴重なお時間をいただき、誠にありがとうございます。
I have been working in the sales department for over 10 years since joining the company. My area of expertise is in developing and analyzing marketing strategies.
専門分野はマーケティング戦略の立案及び分析になります。
My area of expertise is in developing and analyzing marketing strategies.
専門分野はマーケティング戦略の立案及び分析になります。専門分野はマーケティング戦略の立案及び分析になります。
My area of expertise is in developing and analyzing marketing strategies.
専門分野はマーケティング戦略の立案及び分析になります。専門分野はマーケティング戦略の立案及び分析になります。専門分野はマーケティング戦略の立案及び分析になります。
The voice you selected does not support. It's an honor to meet you. I look forward to working with you.
お目にかかれて光栄です。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Today, I would like to briefly introduce myself.
本日は簡単に自己紹介をさせていただきたく存じます。
I hope to contribute to your company by leveraging my years of experience. I hope to contribute to your company by leveraging my years of experience.
長年の経験を生かし、記者に貢献できれば幸いです。
I am very interested in forming a business partnership with your esteemed company.
私は御社との業務提携に強い関心を持っております。
Thank you for making time in your busy schedule.
お忙しいところ、お時間をいただきありがとうございます。
I hope to contribute, even in a small way, to the development of your company.
御社の発展に少しでも貢献できればと思っております。
It is a great honor to meet you today.
本日はお会いできて大変光栄に存じます。
I apologize for the delay in introducing myself.
I apologize for the delay in introducing myself.
自己紹介が遅れて申し訳ございません。
I apologize for the delay in introducing myself.
自己紹介が遅れて申し訳ございません。自己紹介が遅れて申し訳ございません。自己紹介が遅れて申し訳ございません。
I have been involved in your company's project since last year.
昨年より御社のプロジェクトに関わっております。
I would greatly appreciate your kind guidance.
お手柔らかにご指導いただければ幸いです。
I hope for a long and successful relationship with you.
今後とも末永くお付き合いのほどよろしくお願いいたします。
I belong to the sales planning department and am in charge of new business development.
私は営業企画部に所属し、新規事業を担当しております。